Okay, so I'm in my Gen 3, and we just got done making this new panel that fits inside the upper section. So when you're sitting in the truck, it's nice and hidden away. You don't really even see it. But the nice thing is it's secured down super tight because there's a giant piece of dash structure that goes underneath here. And so we made a bracket that cups underneath the plastic, underneath this panel, that bolts to it so that it's nice and secure. You can see down in the bottom, there's holes or bolts that go down through the plastic that tie into that sheet metal cross piece that we put in there. So super secure, nice and clean. Now you notice the pattern, this is our adaptive panel pattern, but I made a half size, so it's a smaller. And the reason that we did that is so that you can put these billet inserts into it. Now, the way that this works is if you're already installed, sometimes it's hard to get to the bottom of everything. So what you can do is you can just, these are slotted so that, or they're shaped so that you can slide them right through and then get it inside there and then turn it into position so that you can bolt it down. Okay, so I pulled the dash panel out just to make it a little easier to show you how to set stuff up. But you can see it's super easy to get out. You can get an Allen wrench right down through these holes to the bolts that hold it down to the dash plate that's under the plastic. And underneath there, there's a nut that's in place. So when you pull them out, you don't have to worry about anything coming loose under the dash. But this way I can actually work around it, and I can work my inserts and stuff like that a little bit easier on the bench for you so you can see it. So like I was saying before, these will slide right up into location, and then they'll click into the hole like that, which gives you, 7 holes that you can thread into, so you can almost fit just about any accessory in there when you put 1 or 2 of those in the holes. Okay, so for the setup I'm working on now, I want to have my iPhone over on this side, which is closest to the driver, but then I want to mount my iPad mount for Leadnav on the other side. So I've got a little bit larger ball for it, just because it's a little heavier, but I'm going to mount it way at the back so that it hangs kind of on top of the dash a little bit out of the way. Okay. So now, as you can see, I've got the little inserts down in the holes, and I've got a button head Allen screw that's going down into the thread. And so I just have to basically snug those up into the threaded parts. And now I have my ram mount ball secure on there. Now, we did find another cool one that requires a little bit of mix and match of parts, but we found another ball setup that's pretty cool. So there's my insert in. This one has a round base and a threaded stud that comes out of it, and you can just literally screw it right on to one of the inserts like this, and it has enough surface area and everything like that that it seals up, and super tight, super clean. So depending on what you want to do, you have to buy this separately. This ram mount is a common one that comes in like their cell phone holders and a bunch of other stuff, just the 1-inch ball base plate, the round base plate. But this one, again, it's a billet piece we bought separately, but super easy, as you can see. Pretty cool. Okay, so for the setup I'm working on now, I want to have my iPhone over on this side, which is closest to the driver, but then I want to mount my iPad mount for Leadnav on the other side. So I've got a little bit larger ball for it, just because it's a little heavier, but I'm going to mount it way at the back so that it hangs kind of on top of the dash a little bit out of the way. Okay, one thing to be careful of too, if you pull the panel out to put stuff on it, make sure that you don't cover up the access points to get to the bolt holes to put it back in. As you can see, even though I have the 2 pieces on it, it's still going to be pretty easy for me to get all that back in the truck when I'm done. Okay, so now I got it back installed. You can see I got my iPad mount on there and my iPhone mount, both. And super easy. I can adjust them and I can spin them around this way or that way, depending on what I want or how I want it to show. If I want it primarily the passenger, you can flip it that way. But this is a super easy mount from Ram Mount that you basically just slide that into the corner and then clip it in like that. So pretty easy to work with. And then I've got my Leadnav and everything for when we take our Raptor trips. Pretty cool.